Now, before I get into this topic of no action, let's just rest together, slow down, and just practice no action. Because often, when we're on YouTube or on our laptops, on our phones, there can be this overdrive or this underlying restlessness that's it's driving us, that's pushing us. So just for a moment, let's not look for an answer, for an explanation, for pleasure, for something that we can get. Let's just relax for a second. So I think maybe it was Sadhguru, maybe someone else, I'm not sure, who talked about the difference between freedom from and freedom to do certain things, which is kind of a Western individualistic understanding of freedom. That freedom means we can just do whatever we want. We can go wherever we want to without being restrained in any kind of sense. And it's an important freedom to some degree. I mean, we don't want to be too restricted or be in jail, which is kind of very restricted. But then there's this other kind of freedom, which is the kind of freedom from Zen or Buddhism. And that's more kind of freedom from thinking, freedom from restlessness, freedom from thinking that we need to do a certain thing. So, no action, non-doing, slowing down. For me personally, that's a great freedom. And maybe it's the most important kind of freedom. So, when we are unable to handle our own restlessness, or when we are unable to let go of our expectations of how things should be, which is something I also struggle with, or that I've also struggled with in the last few weeks and maybe even months, with even just simple things, which is kind of neurotic even. Like with colors of my shoes, colors of my phone, where I was kind of impulsively or often just thinking, oh, maybe I should get this color instead of this one, or maybe just this one instead of that one. Yeah, I think I should get that one. Oh no, I think I should get another one. And this can happen with more important things in our lives, with, oh, I need to get into this kind of job. Oh no, I need to get into this kind of job. Which is like okay to consider and to make a decision about these things. But if it gets like perverted, even if it gets so dominant in our heads that we can no longer free ourselves from this kind of thinking, when we're constantly just ruminating, constantly in our heads, yeah, then it's very good, feels very good to get freedom from this kind of thinking. So, Zen practice is basically no action. Meditation is also basically no action. But with meditation it's a bit tricky because some kind of different meditations, they are focused on doing something or focused on focusing on something. But that's why I'm personally very attracted to practicing Zen, because it's just sitting or just listening, which is then how we are able to get into this state or into this deeper kind of existing or being, of not doing a certain thing. And then it makes sense why it's a practice, why it's something we would do every day. Because even though at the moment I can talk about this, and I can also sense it or feel it, experience it in a certain way. But obviously, often that's not necessarily the case, especially if you're someone who never really practiced Zen or meditation or being more mindful. But then the great thing is that it's actually kind of working when we're practicing. It actually brings us this deeper kind of freedom, because the more and more we practice letting go or being aware or letting things just happen without interfering in them, we can actually reach this deeper, more profound, even joy that's connected to this freedom.